Good morning, everybody. The subcommittee on Commerce, Justice, Science will come to order. This is our first hearing on the fiscal year 2015 budget. We are starting with the esteemed and much valued Federal Bureau of Investigation. We will have a two-part hearing. This will be an open session with all senators free to participate and ask their questions. When this concludes, we will adjourn for a classified hearing on the Bureau's needs, particularly in the global war against terrorism and cybersecurity, and some of those that are more sensitive in terms of the need for global protection and global cooperation. We want to welcome Director Comey here for his very important appearance, and we look forward to hearing his testimony in terms of the needs of the FBI. Last year, we concluded, I think, with a vote on January 20th, in which we were able to pass an omnibus bill for fiscal 14, thanks to the work bipartisan and bicameral. Senators Murray and Ryan were able to give us a budget and a top line, canceling the sequester, which had a draconian impact on both the function of core agencies like the FBI and on the morale. We look forward this year to moving ahead in an expeditious way to move this so that we could avoid that kind of crisis in budgeting that has been characteristic of the Congress for more now than 5 years. To get our work done, we will again listen to Director Comey on budget and priorities. It is his first time as the director, but not our first meeting. We appreciate his competence and his candor in his long history of service. We also, in welcoming you, Mr. Director, we want to thank the entire FBI for the way that they protect America, whether it is fighting crime and organized crime, whether it's dealing with terrorists or predators. The FBI is on the job 24/7, 365 days a year, and we want them to know that they're appreciated, and we would like to show our appreciation to make sure they have the right resources and the right tools so that they can do the job that they were signed up to do. We believe that they are the unsung heroes. This hearing will focus on the FBI's vital work. As chair, I've reviewed the FBI's budget, which comes in at $8.4 billion. In the fiscal year, in fiscal year 14, we had an increase of $762 million above the sequester request. So it was $762 million, and it sounds like it was a big bump up, but it was a bump up to keep us running in place. And I'd like you to describe then about your need to retain talent, to recruit talent, and to train and educate the legendary training that goes on at Quantico. I understand that the 2015 request would keep the FBI moving while making sure our taxpayers are sent wisely. Now, we know that the sequester caused the FBI to cancel training, to ration gas to 200 miles a week. We valued a much read and circulated document called Voices from the Field. This is where we heard from the FBI agents themselves. Not only did they fear furlough for their families, but they feared the impact on the mission. And then we heard they didn't have gas for their cars. Well, what kind of, we can't do this. So we're going to make sure we're looking to you and listening to you to do this. So we'll be looking at the 21st century threats. We know that one of the major 21st century threats is in cyberspace, whether it's the hackers, the cyber spies, or the cyber terrorists. We want to be clear in this hearing that cybersecurity is not the cyber surveillance that is the subject of much discussion at many levels in this government and at others. We know that cybersecurity means protecting us from criminals out to steal credit card information, personal identities, companies' trade secrets, and even worse. whether it's to bring down the grid or bring down our financial services. We know the FBI is in the front line in this area, and that the request is $392 million for the Next Generation Cyber Initiative, $9 million less than 2014. So we want to know, what is it you want to do, either at this hearing or the classified one, and is this the resources to do it? One of the hallmarks of the FBI has really been working with local law enforcement. The joint task forces that have emerged receive kudos from around the nation. Certainly in my own Baltimore metropolitan area, in the Washington metropolitan area, law enforcement speaks with such enthusiasm and such energy when they talk about these joint task forces, and that they can rely on the FBI, but keep local law enforcement. We don't have a national police force in this country, but we have an American joint task force. So we want to know how in your budget, what this means to state and local. We've been concerned that these two face significant cuts. Finally, I'd like to mention the fact that you need a new headquarters. We know that the Hoover building is dated and to the point of even being dysfunctional, that you're in 20 leased spaces. You know that two alpha delegations, Maryland and Virginia, are duking it out. We'll go through the competitive process. But my criteria, wearing my national hat, is that you need full consolidation. You don't need a micro consolidation, because we wanted to meet its functionality and security requirements for the next 50 years. So we look forward to listening to you and listening to the needs of really, what does it make sure how we have a robustly funded FBI for a 21st century FBI for 21st century threats. I now turn to my vice chairman, who's been such an advocate in this area and has some key facilities in Alabama, Senator Shelton.
Thank you.